Hey, I'm honestly so excited for this part because I wrote this at like 2 a.m. after a huge mental breakdown. I guess if you want some real angst in giving it to you guys because I have absolutely nothing better to do than just write sad stories. I'm honestly proud about the outcome of this series and would like to express my gratitude to you all. Also, thank you so much for 5k. Never in my life would I thought my channel would grow this much. Disclaimer of cuss words and LGBTQ+ content here, your viewer discretion is advised. With that being said, let's start. Bakugo was back at his dorm room after the forgotten date. He sighed to himself, releasing all of the guilt that built up inside of him. The bet was so stupid, they really wanted a piece out of me just because I told them I wasn't in the slightest interested in her, he thought to himself. He thinks being blunt isn't always wrong. Though he knows it can be harsh, it's just better to avoid unwanted situations. He walked through the common room, seeing the bright lights still on show. It was 9 p.m. at night. 5 figures were sitting and chatting silently as they each had an anxious look on their faces. You all are still up? Kirishima, quickly noticing the confused boy behind them, pointed his hand to Bakugo's direction, signaling the others. The rest of the 4 looked behind. They weren't so amused by it. Does it matter that much if we are? Okay, chill out, half and half. Tomorrow is just school and Ida would usually try to shut the shit out of all of you to go to sleep after 9. The others understood why Todoroki acted this way, but it would just create a bigger mess if they tried to stop him. You still haven't answered my question? Everyone expected what would happen next. It was inevitable knowing how much of a protective person Todoroki was. He pushed Bakugo against the wall, his hands on his neck. Todoroki gritted his teeth in anger, asking Bakugo everything he wanted to know about. Todoroki-kun, that's too much. They all mumbled in agreement, but it wasn't enough for the boy to calm down his dominating anger. Hey, what the fuck, why you re-see choking me? Bakugo struggled to take the boy's hand out of him. His breath was running low, but not willing to lose against him, Bakugo activated his quirk just to create a moment that would make Todoroki flinch. This would let him take the lead. If you're trying to use that goddamn hell of a quirk on me, it's not going to work. I will let you go, just answer my questions. The atmosphere was tense. No one has ever seen Todoroki's eyes turned darker before. It was almost like Bakugo was held as hostage. Before Todoroki was quick to get back on his shoes, Kirishima tapped on his shoulder and tried to make him think about what would happen if he did anything more. You're going to regret it, stop it. Don't be so hasty, we have so much time to think. Please Todoroki, just hold your frustration for a bit. We don't want anything to get worse than this. Todoroki grunts in annoyance, he lets go of the suffocating boy held in his hands. Bakugo fell to the ground, coughing and puffing for air. You're just gonna leave like that without any explanation? For fuck's sake, you're really digging your grave, aren't you? Fucking bastard, choking me out of nowhere. Todoroki managed to calm down his anger and ignore his rants. He walks out the dorm in the cold night, leaving everyone else behind. Tsuyu tried to stop him, but Ida held her hand back, telling her it was okay. What the fuck was that all about? Sorry about that, Bakugo. Yeah, sorry, he's a little pent up on his personal matters today. Yeah, and he really had to let it out on me. Kirishima mumbles silently about how he was the cause of Todoroki's main frustration. What did you say? Oh, nothing. It's alright. We're just going to go back now. Yeah, Bakugo, it's nothing to worry about, just to let him calm down. Why not just check up on Midoriya? Oh, now that you remind me of it, but wait a second, how'd you guys know? It's just a hunch. Not that it matters though, if you aren't sleepy, a great way to kill your time hanging out with him, right? Right. Fine then, I'll leave you shitty extras to it. Just remind him next time, I won't let this slide again. Bakugo, still confused about the situation, proceeds to use the elevator to go to Deku's room. He knocked 3 times on his door, before wanting to scream at him. Deku was quick to realize and saved everyone's sleep by opening the door quickly. The green-haired boy was flustered to see his best friend standing in front of his door. Kacchan? What? Why are you here? Problem? You don't seem to mind, do you? I still felt bad for ditching you before. You do? I said it was okay, right? Damn Deku, just accept the fact that you didn't deserve it. It's not about what you think right now. Gotta know your worth somehow. Bakugo enters his room with no hesitation, plopping himself comfortably on the bed. Hey, but I was just about to sleep. It's literally 9. Such a loser sleeping this early. Deku smiles at his reply, sitting on the chair near his desk. How was the date? Did you like her? It's surprising of you to go. That son of a bitch wanted to challenge me on something. Of course I couldn't just refuse it. That'll make me such a loser. Typical Kacchan. My instincts are just never wrong. Yeah, whatever you nerd. Hey Kacchan, can I ask you something? Just get on with it, damn. Okay, no need to be so rough. Do you like anyone? Like interested in them romantically? Bakugo was flustered at the question, his eyes weren't looking straight to Deku but rather down the all-might sheets of the bed. Why are you asking such a stupid question? I just want to make the best out of things, before I forget everything. Huh? What? Deku smiles in defeat, seeing Kacchan confused was one of the things he enjoyed a lot. You know Kacchan, sometimes I hate myself for giving more than I can take. It's almost hard for me to just refuse someone who I care about. I feel like I would be betraying them if I did that. Bakugo, still confused about everything, groans silently while listening to him. Remember when I tried to save you from that slimy villain? I know I didn't manage to do anything, and you hated me so much for it. I was still happy I got to be there near you, you know. I don't know what made me do it. You probably felt like I was taking pity on you, right? I didn't, just to make it clear. Bakugo wanted to say something but Deku shushed him quickly with another painful smile. I know you are capable, Kacchan. In fact, you're so talented it makes me so jealous of you. I admire you so much it's hard to think of negative things when you show so much light. But I knew behind all that, you were just trying to hide your vulnerable side. Your superiority complex on the exterior, protecting the fragile interior. No offense. Superiority complex? Really, Deku? Bakugo rolls his eyes in annoyance, but his heart clearly shaking at the fact that someone could see him so clearly. I could have chose to stay there and blend in with the crowd. My heart would be shaking in fear as I tried to convince myself nothing bad was going to happen to you. But you didn't. No, I couldn't. How could I? All my life I've been trying to tell you one thing but you always take it the wrong way. That's completely fine with me, by the way, but maybe it's better to just show you what I always wanted to tell you. Bakugo looks at Deku's face. His eyes were glossy as he stared into the moonlight. Looking back at him with such pain, it struck Bakugo's heart, realizing something. I want to beat you, Kacchan. One day I will. I'll tell you that I beat all your opinions into thinking I would never make it this way. But you seem to get sidetracked in that statement and not look at the other perspective of things. Have you ever thought about me reaching back to you when I beat you? Did you think I was gonna leave you there? That's just what everyone does when they see me at my weakest point. Well, fucking hell, Kacchan, they won't. Just because you're shoving out your weaknesses at them doesn't mean they would leave you. I wanted to beat you while going further with you. Together. That was what I always wanted. The green-haired boy looked at him with such precious eyes, his body already failing him. Bakugo looked back at him, biting his lip as he didn't know what to say. The only one thing he could describe was the warm feeling inside his heart seeing his best friend smile. His words seemed to have comforted him, never in his life had he ever thought about hearing this from anyone. He reaches out his hand and cupped it to Deku's cheeks, making them turn crimson red. Why did you have to say all of that to me? He looked away, hands still pressed to his cheeks with a hint of agony in his voice. Because I. And before he ever got to finish his words, he falls into the blonde-haired boy's embrace, slowly losing consciousness. Bakugo's eyes widened as he let Deku press his face against his chest. His body growing more delicate. He indicated that something was wrong, something felt really wrong. The thoughts rushed inside his head, overflowing with pessimism. He held him tight, snuggling into his head as he took a whiff of his scent. Nobody told me you were sick. Bakugo's eyes were forming tears, they ran down his face mercilessly. No, it's too fast. Stop. The boy held onto his best friend for dear life as he constantly grew even more worried for him. After hearing those words, he couldn't seem to think about anything else but seeing Deku talk to him again. Nerd, wake up. He mentally scolded himself, and finally called out for help. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your suggestions in the comments. Subscribe and like if it's not too much.